It's been, yeah, I know, like a week, not a week, 2 weeks since I last saw you guys, and I know I said that I'd try to get better on it. And then life happened, and well, here I am today. It's the 7th of April today, Thursday, and, got 2 weeks worth of topics to cover, so I'm gonna do it. First topic for this week, or first topic was last week's, parents. So the way my parents have dealt with things. I came out, I'd say around the time I was 16, because I'd come out as gay / not straight, when I was 14 or 15, and I know my mom was like, I don't believe it, she was just like, I don't buy it, you're too young, don't know. And my father was more accepting. He and my stepmom, and that was always a good thing. Even though having to deal with my mom, who didn't really believe it, my dad and stepmom were always very supportive in that way, and that helped. Now, after coming out to them about a few years ago that I'm trans, my mom still doesn't buy it. And my dad, although he's not completely comfortable with it, he and my stepmom are very much in the mindset that whatever makes me happy, they'd rather me go through this and, like, risk the small, tiny, itsy-bitsy possibility that maybe it wasn't for me, than to prevent me from doing anything and living my life without... basically living a life that's sort of a lie, living in misery, because they don't want to risk the possibility of transition going wrong or something. That being said, though, all of my parents, my mom, my dad, my stepmom, still use my birth name a lot, and still use she, and I don't know how I feel about it right now. I'm almost so used to it still that they say it. I know I should ask them to, or at least I feel like I should ask them, to use male pronouns, but I don't know. Part of me is just gotta, find the right time to do that. But at least my dad and my stepmom are making, efforts to call me Alex. It's inconsistent, but it's still there. Versus my mom, who, so disdainfully refers, blah blah blah, being Alexander. And don't get me wrong. If I just demonized my mother there, if I just characterized her as someone who doesn't care, then I apologize for that and recant that statement, because she's not any bit as bad as perhaps she could be. I don't know, At least I've not been kicked out by my parents. I'm actually very fortunate in that sense. And, really, it's not like my mother doesn't care about me, because she does. It's just that her actions, whatever her intentions are, her actions have hurt me. So, yeah. They're good parents, I appreciate all they do for me and stuff. I just, they have things to work on. Now... when I came out to them, it was just sort of telling, like, since I had already come out to them as a lesbian, or, back in the day, I kind of knew what to do, which was, well, I can't say I actually knew what to do, it was awkward, it was strange, it was... I felt kind of ready, I still had that, anxious lump in my throat where I was just sort of like... I'm transgender, right? It was just sort of like... But anyway. So yeah, that was me with my parents. Coming out was awkward to them, but this is how they've been, and... I love them still. I just want to work on them with things. This week's topic's outing, and when other people out other people. Or, did I say? Yeah. when other people out other people. Or when you out someone. Basically, I hold Brennan's position. I hold the same position as Brennan, which is that it's really never really okay. I really can't say there's ever a good time. I understand, though, that it's not only used as a weapon, I would say. At least not a negative weapon. Certainly with politicians, you know, it's sort of I guess, sometimes it's used to trash their reputation, but also, I mean, as we've seen within the past few years with more celebrity outings, some do it out of the intention of getting it out there how many people really are part of the alphabet soup community. Really, how many people are gay and trans, or what have you, you know. It's just unfortunate that they don't always respect the person's wishes to do it on their own terms, you know. I still don't like the idea of basically outing someone else, and even if you yourself are part of the community, it's still not okay to always out someone. I know someone who's a stealth trans guy, and, like, I actually have to be weary about when I'm talking about shit with him around people who aren't trans. I mean, because the last thing I want to do is to unintentionally out him to people who he's not out to, and he doesn't want to be out to, ever. Or at least not until, like, if he's ever ready. And so, you know, I even have to watch that. So, yeah. General position, don't do it. You know, it's just, let the person themselves do it on their own terms, you know. Just, really, if you can help it, let them do it on their own terms. It's, because at least that way, they're in control of who gets to hear it when and how, and just their own safety in the matter. And, yeah, because there's a lot of factors that go into it, and things that could be affected. Okay, so question time, after all that rambling. Tristan's question, cooking shows I like watching. Well, when I was younger, I liked to watch Iron Chef. However, I haven't watched it really much in a while, and I don't want to watch Iron Chef America, because, I mean, I would watch it, but it wasn't like religious sort of activity. You know, I didn't sit at the TV every day and hope that it would come on. Anyway, I also like watching Good Eats sometimes on the Food Network. And the cake shows, Brendan, you reminded me of the cake shows. They're fun. And Paula Deen, y'all, for the lulz. Let's see. Volunteering. I actually volunteer at my school's Gender and Sexuality Resource Center, and it is quite fun, I'd say. I spend almost all my time there anyway, so it's kind of a useful thing, because now I'm getting I'm getting work experience for it, and I think that's good. And, alright, if I could volunteer other places, though, I think the next volunteer thing I would like to do would be working with homeless youth, especially LGBT, basically working with alphabet soup, homeless youth, because, you know, you check the numbers, you'll notice that there's a lot of them. A lot. It's almost ridiculous. Well, it is ridiculous how many. Anyway, so Eli's question about controversial art. How do I feel about it and stuff? Well, I don't know exactly how I feel about it, because I mean, like, I like art and I like making art. I have had a piece that was slightly controversial when I made it. It was back when I was in 10th grade, and it was censored, actually, from my school's art gallery, but that's because it had featured a small bit that, well, it was a little about suicide. And that very same year, my school had lost someone to suicide, so there was sort of a reason behind the censoring. But, yeah, if someone censors your artwork because there's a message in it that, you know, they don't want out, and by message in that they don't want out, I mean a generally positive message, like, it's okay to be yourself, or something about, like, politics or things like that. That's not cool. I don't like that. But when it's censoring an artwork because, let's say, I don't know, it's incredibly racist and your school actually happens to have a huge population of people of color, I don't know, there might be a reason for that. But anyway, so yeah, and Brendan's question, finally, before I, take this on for 20 years. Summer. The thing I'm most excited about is possibly starting tea. If I can get myself together on that. Next Friday is when I get my letter, actually. Because the weather on April Fool's Day, Sadly, it wasn't a joke when my therapist said, I can't get you the letter that day. So I was like, damn it. But yeah, I'm hoping to start tea, and I'm also hoping to do some other stuff with maybe, like, surgery. Not saying I'd get it over the summer, or I don't know. If I could, I would. That'd be fun. But looking into it and stuff, I'm taking shit as quick as, well, not quick as possible, but, like, I'm trying to take this stuff on before I, like, get overwhelmed by other stuff, so. Yeah, that's that. So I'm gonna ask my question and go. These past few days, my life has been kind of revolving around Russian cinema because it's one of my classes. So I'm gonna ask, have you ever watched a foreign film? Do you like them? If you have and you like them or whatnot, what's your favorite one? Where's it from? If you want, tell us what it's about. So, yeah, and I guess this can apply to anybody even watching the video, leave a comment. Yeah. So, I will see you all next Thursday and, see how things go, so. Bye-bye.